The 2025 Emilia Romagna Grand Prix is about to happen,
Red lights for the Grand Prix in Imola.
and the grid is boiling.
Oscar Piastri wins the Saudi Grand Prix.
Piastri's in ruthless form with 3 wins on the bounce.
Oscar Piastri wins the Bahrain Grand Prix.
Piastri wins the Miami Grand Prix.
And Max Verstappen is clinging to the fight despite a struggling Red Bull. And McLaren? Untouchable, but not for long. Because it's not just about the front runners. Russell is quietly building a charge, and Kimi Antonelli, an 18-year-old rookie, just made a statement in Miami that the old guard can't ignore. This race has everything. Rain on the radar, upgrades in the garage, and a title fight with real heat. Who's going to rise and who might unravel under pressure at Imola? Hit the like and subscribe button for updates, and let's dive into the top 5 drivers you need to keep an eye on this weekend. Oscar Piastri. Oscar Piastri is making 2025 look like it's his personal redemption tour, and he's barely giving anyone else a chance to speak. With 4 wins in the last 6 races, including a hat-trick in Bahrain, Jeddah, and Miami, the McLaren driver is turning the championship into a showcase of clinical, cold-blooded execution. After a shaky home race in Australia, where a minor error kept him off the podium,
As the Australian driver spins at the penultimate corner of the racetrack,
Piastri bounced back with a statement win in China.
Oscar Piastri wins the Chinese Grand Prix.
Since then, it's been full steam ahead. In Miami, he didn't just win, he destroyed the field, crossing the line 4.6 seconds ahead of Norris and 37.6 seconds ahead of Russell. That's a country mile in F1 terms. But it's how he's winning that's making people talk. In Jeddah, he baited Verstappen into a penalty.
Max Verstappen possessing a 5-second penalty for leaving the track and gaining the advantage.
In Miami, he forced Max into an unforced error, passed him clean, and never looked back. His nickname, the Iceman, isn't just PR fluff. He's unshakably calm, laser-focused, and avoids drama like a pro. No radio meltdowns, no headlines off the track. He just races. Now sitting on 131 points, 16 clear of Norris and 32 ahead of Verstappen, Piastri is the man to beat. He doesn't celebrate wins instantly. He gets out of the car and starts thinking about the next one. And that's what should terrify the rest of the grid. But the terrifying talent of Max Verstappen, one man who still refuses to go quietly, is our second on the watch-out list. Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen might be in 3rd place, but don't mistake that for him fading. The Dutchman is still fighting tooth and nail with a car that's just not quite there. Red Bull has been outpaced by McLaren, plain and simple. Verstappen's 4th place finish in Miami, nearly 40 seconds behind Piastri, made that painfully clear. But the most important part is that Max is still outperforming the machinery, as he does always. He's taken 3 poles in 6 races this season. While his race pace doesn't match McLaren's tire management and balance, he's wringing every last drop of speed out of the RB21. The new floor upgrade? Too soon to say. Even Verstappen admits it's hard to judge on quirky tracks like Miami. Imola might be the litmus test. Red Bull is throwing everything at the car. Floor upgrades, setup tweaks, and regulation tweaks like the flexi-wing clampdown. But Max knows this isn't 2023. He's not out there cruising to wins anymore. He's scrapping just to stay in it. Still, he's dangerous. Put him on the front row and he'll fight like a caged animal. Just ask Norris, who got shoved off track in Miami. Max has made it clear. On some tracks where you can't pass, you have a chance. Imola's narrow nature might just give him the edge he needs to steal one. From a fighter to a nearly there contender, Lando Norris is next. But he's got his own demons to face. Lando Norris. Lando Norris is walking a tightrope between title threat and team understudy. With 115 points and 2nd in the standings, the McLaren driver is right there, but the momentum is slipping. After leading Piastri by 23 points post-Australia, he's now 16 behind. That's a 39-point swing. Not good. His Miami performance was solid. P2 behind Piastri, but the opening lap scuffle with Verstappen cost him dearly. A snap from Max forced Lando off track and down to 6th. He clawed his way back, but by then, Oscar was long gone. What's holding Norris back isn't just bad luck, it's how he races wheel to wheel. Commentators like Damon Hill and Martin Brundle have noted it. Lando's clinical, but not careless. Against Verstappen, he's often too polite. And against Piastri, he's just not matching the Aussie's efficiency. The talent is there, the racecraft is 90% there. What's missing is that last 10% of ruthlessness. The kind that lets you dive bomb on lap 1, stick the car in a gap, and not flinch if contact happens. He says, if I don't go for it, people complain. If I do, they complain. But he knows he's at a crossroads, either becoming a title winner or the guy who almost got there. Meanwhile, one driver who's quietly grinding toward the top is George Russell, and he's bringing Mercedes with him. George Russell. George Russell isn't dominating headlines, but don't mistake his silence for lack of flow. With 93 points and 3 podiums in 6 races, Russell is Mercedes' entire podium haul this year, and he's showing signs of becoming their anchor. In Miami, it was textbook Russell. Start on hards, run long, pit under the VSC, and come out ahead of Verstappen and Antonelli. The result? P3 and another haul of big points. This, despite stomach cramps and a car still playing catch-up with McLaren's dominance. More impressively, George is handling the intra-team challenge from rookie sensation Kimi Antonelli with composure. Kimi might have outqualified him in Miami, but when it counted in the race, Russell made the strategy work. That experience gap showed, and it's earning him trust inside the Mercedes garage. Upgrades are coming at Imola, and Mercedes technical director James Allison believes they'll move the dial. Russell has already been outperforming the machinery. Give him a car that's just 5% better and he'll start seriously hassling Norris and Verstappen. And don't count out a win, especially at tracks where brains and timing matter more than outright pace. And speaking of Antonelli, Italy's prodigy returns home for what could be a defining weekend. Kimi Antonelli. Kimi Antonelli may only be 6 races into his F1 career, but the 18-year-old Italian is already showing flashes of brilliance. 6th in the championship with 48 points and fresh off his first front-row start in Miami, Antonelli is about to race in front of his home fans at Imola, and expectations are soaring. In Miami, he was electric in qualifying, outpacing Russell both times. He started 3rd in the Grand Prix and was briefly running 2nd behind Verstappen.
Kimi Antonelli is now putting pressure on Max Verstappen.
But a messy pit stop and poor performance on the hard tire dropped him to P6 by the flag.
It's Antonelli 6th.
Frustrating? Yes. Valuable? Absolutely. Antonelli's biggest gain this weekend wasn't a position, it was maturity. After a rough sprint, he rebounded in qualifying. After a difficult race, he still finished and banked points. Most importantly, he knows where the weaknesses are and isn't hiding from them. He said, I couldn't make the tire work, now we analyze and move on to Imola. That's the mindset of a driver learning fast. So now we know that Piastri's dominance did not just happen overnight. Verstappen is still dangerous even when the car's not there. Norris is stuck with frustration, and that's becoming a greater obstacle in front of his title hopes. Russell's playing the long game. And Antonelli, he's fearless and flies into his home race with serious intent. Imola isn't just another stop on the calendar, it's a battlefield for form, upgrades, and redemption. Will Mercedes updates finally tip the scales? Who's your pick to steal the spotlight at Imola? Drop your predictions in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for updates. See you in the next video.